What is up, my Lorcana goons? Welcome to the Monday Market Watch. Today is January 15th, and I hope you've had an awesome weekend. We have some Lorcana stuff to go over today, but first, a very important question for all of my goons. Please leave in the comments below, which Dalmatian puppy are you going to be playing next format? Which is the best one? Which one are you going to be playing 99 copies of this 2-ink inkable card that has 2 strength and 3 willpower that can quest for 1? Are you going to be playing the good boy with the blue collar right here? Are you going to be playing the determined boy? Or maybe you might want to be playing the red collared one right here with the tongue out. Yeah, that one's kind of cool. Or what if you want to play the sit-in boy? Ooh, that might be my favorite personally. Or if you're maybe a fan of some Riz, maybe you might want to play the winky boy over here. All right, so let me know in the comments below which one you're going to be playing next format. But in order to prepare for next format, we have some pre-order prices to talk about today. In my opinion, the pre-order box prices don't look too bad compared to the pre-orders for the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. So if this is going to be your first time looking into some Lorcana stuff, these are some good prices in my opinion. But is it worth pre-ordering? I guess it just depends on the way you're going to find your packs. If you have multiple local game stores in your area, I don't really see a point in pre-ordering online. I feel like a lot of stores are going to be having the ability this time around to be able to offer pre-orders. So go to your local game store, ask if you can be put like on a pre-order list or something, and be prepared to have some money ready, because prices do fluctuate. You know what I mean? The boxes might sell out, they could go up, they could go down, but as of right now, these prices are sitting at a 173 market value, around that price, 175. It's looking like a low is verified by Sharp Hobby right here, $173, and they have 12 of them for you. So you don't even have to go through multiple vendors for this. You could go through all the same vendor and get multiple boxes if you want to get multiple boxes. There is sealed cases as well on TCG Player if you want to go that route. But these prices pretty much matching the current price of the first chapter booster box, right? So first chapter booster box market price currently sitting at around 165, and the market price for the pre-orders is a little bit higher than that, around 170. So pretty close in my opinion. Something to definitely consider if you prefer to do your shopping online rather than driving around from store to store, for example. And if you want to wait those 2 weeks, you know what I mean? But what ended up happening to Rise of the Floodborn was the price dropped significantly. So the market price for these is still around 120, 117 specifically. But right now we have some verified listings for less than 120. We have Deck Edge right here for 116, Spellbook Games for 116, and Card House Secondary for 117. So multiple vendors having multiple boxes at less than $120 for the Rise of the Floodborn booster boxes. So the prices for this one keep going down. You know what I mean? And if you're like me, you bought the Rise of the Floodborn when it came out. The week it came out, I was buying these for basically double the price. And was it worth it? Obviously not. So definitely take that into consideration if you are somebody who's playing this game for fun and you have to make financial decisions. And I might not make the best financial decisions all the time, but that doesn't mean you have to. You know what I mean? Let's talk about some of the cards you can pull in this set. We have Elsa, Spirit of Winter, right here. It's going to be the highest enchanted in Lorcana still. Multiple sales happening over the weekend for that close to $500 range. We actually have a sale that happened on the 14th, which was yesterday, for $500, and then another one for $499. So 2 sales for around that $500 range. Actually 3 right here when I scroll down more. And then we even have a couple more that did sell for around $450, $445 range. So Elsa kind of bouncing off that $500 range, but there's not that many listings left for less than 500 if we take a look right now. So if you were hoping to get Elsas for less than 500, less than 400, it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon, right? And I want to kind of make sure that to always look at Elsa because I do think this makes an impact on the overall price of the first chapter booster box. You know what I mean? So if Elsa keeps going up, that booster box price is going to keep going up. And some of these other Enchanted Rare errors have kind of been going up a little bit too. Enchanted Tinker Bell selling for more than $150 now. So as of like January 10th, the market price been jumping up from that 140 range all the way to 160. Multiple sales happening over the weekend. It's looking like a lot of us got paid, right? Some selling for 189, 162, 168. So bouncing off that $200 mark. Good to see. And check this out. There's only 16 listings for this card. Personally, one of my favorite Enchanted Rares. I bought one of these for around 200, I think. back when the game was still like super hyped, and I just kept it. I didn't sell it when it went down because I just wanted to hold on to it, and I'm glad that it's kind of reaching that value again. There's only 16 listings. Lowest verified is going to be strictly business TCG for 175. So hey guys, if you're like me or a lot of other collectors, and you're kind of trying to pick up some of these enchanteds to just hold in a long-term level, it's looking like some of them are at least keeping the value, or getting close to that value in which we might have bought them for when the game first came out, which is very reassuring to see. Just to kind of get an understanding of like where the game's headed and like scarcity. I do think that meta playability makes an impact, obviously, and Tinkerbell Giant Fairy is super popular still in the meta. It's a very good card. There are some unverified sellers if you want it for a little cheaper, but there is only one near mint for less than 180. After that, it's looking like the next verified seller is going to be Nerd HQ QC for 194. So again, getting close to that $200 range on the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy Enchanted. Bell, strange but special. Also bouncing off that $200 mark. You guys need to take a look at your enchanted rares. If you have been using, and if you have been keeping your enchanted rares locked away, some of them have been going up in price. Lowest verified is now going to be by Play to Win Games. So they're going to have it for $199.97. Let's look at the sales data right here, because it's looking like multiple sales happening over the weekend on the 14th and the 13th for around that 150 to 175 price. It's looking like as of yesterday they were 180, 189, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any more selling for less than 200, at least near mint anyways, anytime soon. I know a lot of us are still finding packs at Target and whatnot, but you know, how many of them are really going to have enchanted rares, right? So pretty cool price for the enchanted rares, at least the ones that have like that princess tax value, like a Belle over here. Maui, a very popular card in the meta. It's an okay looking enchanted rare, but I do feel like it's not necessarily a fan favorite, but it is kind of getting close back to that $100 mark. So it was less than $100, and I just wanted to bring it up because it's getting close to that $100 mark again. Lowest verified being $99.99 by El Nighthawk cards. So pretty cool to see some of these cards picking up back in value. Mickey Mouse, Artful Rogue, Enchanted Rare also going back up in value a little bit. Market price says here still in the 80s, but multiple sales happening over the weekend for more than $90 easy. $94.99, two sales in that price, another one in the $90 range. So looking like a lot of these enchanted rares are starting to get bought up again. This one might even hit over $100. Maybe might hit $100, but maybe not over $100 anytime soon. But there's a lot of these to go around, but they are at least picking back up a little bit. Aurora Dreaming Guardian picked up a decent amount in price. Less than $100 at one point, and I thought that was definitely undervalued. And now the lowest verified for a near mint is going to be 150. Wow, okay, so almost doubling, getting close to that double. Wow. Yeti Gaming has you for a near mint Aurora Guardian for $154. Again, another card that if you pulled and you didn't sell at like a good price in Lorcana, it was like more than 150. And now it's at least getting some of its value back. So yeah, the prices were super hyped when the game came out, and these being more than 200 were a little bit excessive. But I feel like Aurora Dreaming Guardian is definitely warranted at a enchanted rare that's $150. It's a princess, and it's an awesome looking princess, and it's not bad in Lorcana either. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, another princess over here. Actually really good in Lorcana, and the enchanted rare is kind of cool looking, and it's a princess, so gets that princess tax. Looking like multiple sales happening over the weekend. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 sales. Wow. The ones 8 sales, multiple happening in that $200 range, but also some happening for 222. 230, 215. So heck yeah. All right, so Cinderella Ballroom Sensation officially more than $200 now. Cool, man. Diamond hands, as the nerds say, right? Anyways, so pretty cool to see Cinderella Ballroom Sensation gain some traction back. It was a $300 enchanted rare. We do want to mention that, and it did fall to as low as like 180 to 170 range, but now the lowest verified is going to be D6 Games AK. But after you add that one to your cart, you know, I can't even add it to my cart, actually. Never mind, not available. So we're going to ignore that one. And we're going to look at TC Gaming. They have lowest verified for 250. So not necessarily the price yet, but that is the lowest listing that is available for the Ballroom Sensation Cindy. And it is going to be, there are some sales around that 230 range. So it's, I would say it's more than 200, but not 250 yet. You know what I mean? Sisu is another enchanted that's been seeing some movement as well, getting close close to that $100 range again. A lot of sales happening in that $90 range, but lowest verified listing for a near mint is going to be by Level Up Games for $96.49. So not $100 yet, but getting there. Alice Growing Girl, kind of keeping that price of 130 in the non-verified sellers. Lowest verified going to be minus 50 DKP for 135 actually. So Alice Growing Girl kind of keeping its price as well. But let's go to the legendary watch right here. I want to see how much Beast Tragic Hero has grown since we last left it, or fallen. So it's still around that $45 range for a near mint Beast Tragic Hero. We're gonna have a lowest verified by Hobo with a Binder. Okay, thank you, Hobo with a Binder, for having that for $45. Basically, after that, we start to hit Hidden Fortress. They have it for $44.99 as well. Okay, good to see. Cold foil listings. There's only 14 listings left, and there you go. Lowest verified, $60 for the cold foil. So Beast is going to be about a $60 cold foil. After the $60 ones sell out, though, which there's about 5, it starts to hit kind of high, like $65, $66, and then we're getting close to the 70s on the foil for the Beast Tragic Heroes, you know. But Maleficent Monsters Dragon was one that we noticed just shooting up in price. I think last time we looked at it, there were some that were selling for $80, right? Let's take a look at this movement in this on these numbers. Multiple sales continuing to happen. Oh yeah, more than 20 sales happening over the weekend for this card, and 2 happening for the foil in that $80 range. So it's looking like there's going to be a couple sales that we can go by to dictate this $80 foil price range, right? Let's see how many listings there are for the foils. The lowest verified is going to be by Pokey Sauce for $80.99 still. Wow. You know, I thought that was kind of high for a Maleficent Monster Dragon foil, but they're selling at that price, and they're still listed at that price, and they're probably going to keep selling at that price, right? So if you want to foil out your deck right now, or wait at least within the next 2 weeks, this might be the time. You know what I mean? But the lowest verified for the non-foils is going to be the MTG Zone. They have it for $36.28, so a little bit less than $40. I feel like that non-foil price did kind of come down a bit. They were selling for like $40 consistently, but it's kind of bouncing off that range. But I feel like that's not going to last very long. This card's just needed in the format. A lot of decks are playing Ruby. Ruby's a really good color. Rapunzel, gifted with healing, still one of the most expensive cards in Lorcana in terms of like non-foil. But look at this foil chart. Wow, just constantly going up in the foil range. But for the non-foil players, we have Big Zard Energy. It's still going to be listed for around $35. They have it for a lowest verified at $33.69, and then Pokey Yanker has it for $34.75. So shout out you guys for these low prices. On the cold foil range, though, holy heck, this cold foil is also going up a lot. So just like Maleficent Monsters Dragon, we have a lowest verified of collectibles by MC for $79.98. So cold foil Rapunzels that are near mint are going to be $80. Everybody, just saying, if you pull a cold foil Rapunzel, that's $80 right there. That sounds pretty nice, and no wonder First Chapter is more expensive than the Rise of the Floodborn. These 2 cards are more expensive than most of the enchanted rares in Rise of the Floodborn, which is kind of wild, but it really is because of the fact that they're playable. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to play them in their decks. People want to have foiled out decks. 75, one sold for 75 today, another one sold for 80, multiple sold for 73 over the weekend. So $80 for cold foil Rapunzel. Let's see if it gets to that $100 range like it was last format. MUFASA, Betray Leader, another card that I mentioned that you guys should have been getting before the oh my goodness, before you know, and then in the previous market watches. I was just looking at this chart, but let's look at the sales for this. Wow, okay, MUFASA's going up in price. This is awesome to see. The non-foils having an abundance of sales, multiple selling for that $15 to $20 range from the 14th to the 15th. But today, a lot of them are selling for $24.99 back to back to back. It's looking like there's not that many listings left either. There's only 21 listings left. Spellbook Games has a lowest verified for 17. Oh, never mind. I can't even add that one to my cart. If we go by lowest verified, we're going to have listings for $24.50. Fortune's Future has 4 of them for you. You can get a discount from some unverified sellers right here, but they still have it for more than $20. Oh yeah, MUFASA, more than $20, man. And I was bringing it up in the market watch that people were playing Amber Ruby. People were playing this card in Amber Steel, and I was saying, get your MUFASAs now that they're $10. I didn't think it would go up to $25 though. That's kind of cool. I don't know if we're seeing like a Surfer Stitch kind of thing where like this card's like super duper meta impacting, but I do think that Ruby Amber is a fun deck to play, and I definitely think that this card is really good, and it's playable in other decks too, and it'll probably be playable in the future. It is a little hyped right now, and I think that there's not that many listings available. So again, if you don't want to wait 2 weeks, then just don't buy it online, because I think the price will be cheaper in 2 weeks for this card, because there's going to be more listings coming up soon now that people see that people are buying these for $25. I don't think it's going to go more than that. But the foils for these, there's only 7 left. Those verified is going to be here by Cards with Michael. They have it for $34.94. After that, the next verified seller is Orc Raider, and they have it for $44.94. So I really want to talk about this, because if these start selling for that price, for that $40 range on the cold foil market, I really want to say that a lot of other cold foils from Rise of the Floodborn, like legendary cold foils, are going to start going up in price too. Granted, this one has much more meta capabilities, but I just think that in terms of collector's value, the cold foils are so hard to pull, and like there's so many people who want to foil out their decks. There's only gonna be enough to go around at some point. And if you're somebody like me who you like certain colors, like you're committed to Emerald, you're committed to playing Steel, you definitely want to hollow out some of these staples, because it just looks nice, and it's a much more benefit for your dollar in terms of a collector's value if you're gonna be like folding out the cards that you're going to be playing 4 of in future formats as well, in my opinion. So we are looking at the sales, multiple sales happening today for that $33 to $35 range for the cold foil Mufasa. It's looking like this $35 one is not going to last very long, but I can add it to my cart, so that means it's still available. So I'm gonna just take that out after this video. I'm not gonna buy it though; that's a little bit too expensive for me. I do have 2 of them that I've been holding on to. I just never got rid of them, so that's good to see. Elsa, Spirit of Winter, seeing a lot of more meta play. We saw Elsa in a lot of deck lists that we were going over in our video that just dropped this morning, the meta review. So be sure to check out that video as well, guys, if you guys are meta players and you guys want to see what's topping in these recent tournaments, or my experience and Zach's experience in the recent 1K tournaments that we got to play. And shout out to all those awesome tournament organizers for throwing these tournaments, because without you, these prices wouldn't be where they're at today. People really are hyped with the format right now, and it's showing in all the price movement, and I love to see it. I think it's really cool to see the Mufasa movement, and then I think it's really cool to see like how many cards are really selling on a day-to-day basis. But Elsa and Spirit of Winter, like I was saying, has been played in a lot of these deck lists, so it's been seeing a lot more sales movement this week. We have a couple sales today happening for that close to $15 range, $13.98, $14.95, $13.99. So it's no longer less than $10 like it was earlier in the year. It was hitting as low as like $10 to $11. Now we have a low as a verified listing for a near mint, not even on the first page. But light plays are going to be $13.60, but we have plenty of near mints for $13.42 with $1. So about $15 for your Elsa Spirit of Winters. And we have Stitch Carefree Surfer, another legendary that is no longer $10. The foils for both of these cards, by the way, going up significantly as well. Elsa's market price for the foil is $35 still, and Stitch's market price for the foil is around $30 as well. Lowest verified for the non-foil for Stitch Carefree Surfer is $15 by using Emily, and then they have the cold foils listed for $30 by Charizard Player, and then Ice Cream Soldiers TCG has a near mint for $33. So, foil Surfer Stitches slowly creeping up as well on those prices. Ursula Power Hungry, seeing a lot of meta play lately, tons of meta play from the Ruby Amethyst Goons, and I think that it is well warranted why this lowest verified price is now more than $15. We have a Gem TCG listing for $14.99, which is cool to see, but let's see how many near mints there really are left over. So we have Gem Mint, then we have Ice Cream Soldiers as well for $12.80 on the near mint listing. So plenty of sales for less than $15, but it's about a $15 legendary now. The cold foils for this going up, there's only 6 listings. And with only 6 listings left, we start to see some outrageous activity in these cold foils, my goons. So earlier in the week, you could have gotten cold foils of this card for $13 on December 21st, about a month ago. Today, if you want to buy a cold foil near mint, you're going to be paying $44.99 by a Hidden Fortress TCG. Check that out, my guys. This is why I keep saying to buy the cold foils, and I just want to stress that out, because throughout December, it was such a buyer's market throughout December. And if you're buying cold foils, I think you really are seeing the benefit of stonks. The cold foils are at such a good price, and over the weekend, multiple of the Ursula sold for that $30 range, 27, 35. Now we only have one that's verified for 44.99. We also have a non-verified for 37.99, so less than 40. But after that, they all stay within that $40 to $50 range. House of G is going to be the last listing that's verified though, with $59 basically. So it's looking like this card is no longer a $13 foil. It's getting close to that $50 foil range. Might be a little inflated, right? But again, how much of first chapter is really going to get reprinted, and how often do you pull a legendary foil? Not often. They're kind of hard to pull, in my opinion. At least I don't see them that often. Snow White Well Wisher, been going up a little bit in price, no longer less than $5. It's a little bit more now. It's going to be bouncing up that $9 range by Izzy Comics. The foils did jump up though, which is kind of cool to see. There's only 21 listings, and the foil for this card is only $15, but it was selling for much less than that, closer to like $12 and $13 for. But now lowest verified is going to be Spellbook Games, $14.99. I like this card a lot. Again, another princess in the game that you might want to consider buying a foil right now that it's still kind of cheap. We have Hades Infernal Schemer. This card is no longer less than $15. Lowest verified for a near mint is going to be King Zong's card. It's going to be $21 right here. And then Beach Poke Portal has it for $19.62 with $1.50 shipping. So about $20 to $21. A couple non-verified sellers have it for $19.99 basically. So yeah, Hades Infernal Schemer is just always a hard card to pull. And there's never that many. The listings are always scarce for this card. So if you're just somebody who's committed to Sapphire, you might want to get them, soon. And if you're somebody who's looking for cold foils, these are also going to be pretty expensive now. $43.99 for the lowest verified Hades Infernal Schemer, and multiple sales happening today for these cold foils. As you can see, the ones that were listed for $42 and $45 have already sold out. So Hades Infernal Schemer, another first chapter foil going up in price. But let's take a look at Gantu, right? Gantu seeing little to no movement. A couple sales happening today though, even on the foil range. I do want to bring up Gantu as a meme card, but I did notice that there were some sales happening. I just wanted to see if all of the first chapter foils were getting bought, and it's looking like a lot of them are seeing some sales movement actually. Now I have a theory that they're going to make Gantu good, but just don't quote me on this, but if they make a card that says reduce the cost of the opponent's cards on the field and make them all a 2-cost character, what if there's a location that does that? That would make Gantu really good, right? I imagine if they did that. A location that says if Gantu's on this location or something, if an alien, whoever, Gantu is on the location, all the opponent's characters become 2-cost characters. The reason I say this is because I saw One Piece come out with a card like that, and I was like, Gantu with this would be so broken. So food for thought. I don't know. $9 foil Gantu, if you're a collector, seems like a good price. I'm just saying. And then also Into the Inklands is going to introduce more stage-based characters, so I do feel like, again, if you're a collector, $9 foil Gantu seems like a cool price. Bell Strains but Special is a pretty cool card to pull from the packs right now. The near mint lowest verified is going to be by a Hidden Fortress for $19.79 for basically a $20 legendary. If you're pulling it non-foil, if you're trying to get some trade value out of that. But if you've been collecting the foils, lowest verified is going to be a Hobo with a Binder again. They have it for $41. After that, lowest verified for a near mint is Kayfabe cards for $43.51. So more than $40 for this legendary foil as well. Scar, Vicious Cheater, not seeing a lot of play right now in the meta, and definitely not seeing a lot of movement in sales either. There were a couple sales today for the foil. Cold foils kind of staying within that $15 price range over the weekend, but there was a sale that happened for $19.70 for the cold foil. But there's tons of listings for these cards in general for Rise of the Floodborn, and they're not super popular in the meta, so you can still find this card for less than $10. Lowest verified for the non-foil is going to be by Card Titan for $8.49, but the foil lowest verified is going to be by Tabletop Gaming. Top Table Gaming, sorry, $17.49 for the foil Scar Vicious Cheater. John Silver, Alien Pirate. Cold foil for this one going up a little bit too. Lowest verified for the foil is by Kayfabe cards for $15. After that, it starts hitting $16 and $19. So, again, first chapter, legendaries, foils going up a little bit. Alice, Growing Girl, not seeing too much movement, unfortunately. Not my favorite card in the meta, but the cold foil price still keeping some value. Lowest verified is going to be close to $20 by Gold Star for $17. And that did kind of go up a little bit because I know they were around that $14 to $15 range, right? And then we have Lady Tremaine, a super rare from Rise of the Floodborn, picking back up in price just a little bit. It kind of bounced off that $5 range, and now you can find it for the lowest verified for $7.50. So it might hit $10 again soon with the popularity of all these ruby decks, but it'll probably kind of bounce off that number. Real quick, Belle Hidden Archer is a princess that I want to acknowledge because I think the cold flow price is still pretty cheap. It's less than $20, and a lot of them have been selling for around $15 to $20 range. So 18, 17, 18 is what people are paying for them as of this weekend. Just a lot of movement is what I've been noticing for less than $20 on the cold foils, and there's not that many listings left for that like $20 range. So I think like in terms of like princesses, this is a cool card to carry, and if they make a one cost Belle, this card just gets better. So in terms of cold foils you might want to pick up, that might be one I might want to consider alongside some of the other ones we mentioned, like Alice Growing Girl and maybe John Silver for some collectability purposes. And then we also have Stitch Rockstar. This card's seeing a lot of movement over the weekend for some sales. The lowest verified is no longer going to be less than $5. We have a lowest verified of $5.64. After that, $5.97. So $6 for your Stitch Rockstar is no longer less than $5. I knew those were really good. I knew that was a really good price when they were less than $5. Right now, the cold foils are only $5 more by Lounge TCG for $9.28. So about $10 for the cold foils, double the price, but I still think that's really good. That's really worth it. Arthur's definitely just coming down, my goons. These I paid for like $15 each, and now we have lowest verifieds by Paradigm Games for $7.47. So around $8 for your Arthur's. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation 2. This card coming down kind of hard in price. A lot of people are just not only relying on Amber Steel to combat the best deck in this format, you know what I mean? Now people can play Ruby Amber, they can play Hyper Aggro, they can play Sapphire Steel, they can play Amethyst, etc., etc. So we're not really relying on the early game Amber Cinderella card like we were before. Lowest verified is going to be Marhawk's cards for $6.40 with $1 shipping. So less than $10 for the Cinderella Ballroom Sensations. I think this is a really good price in my opinion. Same thing with Let It Goes. Let It Goes are still pretty cheap. They've been picking up a little bit in price because they're not really selling for less than $2 anymore. Those verified is by CSM Collectibles for $3.50 with $1 shipping, and it kind of stays around that price range. So $4 to $5 for Let It Go. And I do think that same thing, guys. The foils for these, you might as well just get the foils when the foils are listed for $5 on the non-verified market, and going by verified sellers, $5.99. So about $6 for a foil Let It Go. I think we're sleeping on Sapphire. I just want to say it. And now to go over some interesting sealed product news. The deck boxes for the first chapter, the Captain Hook and the Mickey Mouse deck boxes and the Elsa deck boxes, have all kind of just jumped up in price over the week. In January, a bunch of them started selling for more than $20, $28, $28, $23 for this Captain Hook. Now lowest verified is going to be another $28 listing right there. Same thing with this Mickey Mouse deck box from the first chapter. The prices are just shooting up for these for whatever reason. As you can see here, we have some sales happening this weekend for $30+. Two sales actually, and then the lowest verified listing is House of G for $33 for the Mickey Mouse first chapter deck box. Do you guys think this is worth it? Do you guys have any of these left over? Do you have them open? Do you have any sealed? I think it's a pretty cool product to keep sealed in terms of collectability. I was actually pretty impressed with these deck boxes. I actually like them, and I have an Elsa deck box, which I'm glad I just kept, because it was pretty cool. But we do want to just go over the Lumineers Trove from the first chapter because also some sales movement happening over the weekend. People were buying the Troves for $224 this weekend, so that is pretty cool to see. Looks like we all got paid and we're all buying some collectibles again. They're not printing the first chapter Troves anytime soon, so this price is going to stay around this $200+ range, but we'll see how many of these last in that $225 range, if it's going to go more to $250 like Just Games Lexington right here, or if it's going to go lower. But only time will tell. But more sales movement also happening on eBay for the D23 promo cards. The D23 promo cards being the exclusive cards that were revealed in D23, I believe, 2 years ago in 2022 or 2023 or something like that. I forget which one. I think it was 2022. But anyways, we're having D23 again this year, and tickets go on sale soon. So if you didn't know, these cards were the reveal of Lorcana, etc., etc. And there are some PSA listings that were sold this weekend. So on January 15th, which is today, a BLT Mickey PSA 10 sold for $3,000. Yesterday, on January 14th, somebody bought a PSA 10 Elsa for $7,000. D23 PSA 10 Elsa, $7,000. Now, this is more than the last sale we saw. We saw another sale for the PSA 10, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, for around that $5,000 range. So this is a big difference for that. Another BLT Mickey selling for $3,000. A Maleficent PSA 10, ooh, selling for $3,150. Okay, pretty awesome. My personal favorite right there. And then another PSA 10 selling for $2,899. So also going up. These are around $3,000 is what they're selling for as of today. We'll keep track of those, and we'll see where the Maleficent PSA 10s and the Elsa PSA 10s are in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Because these don't really see a lot of movement, but every now and then we start seeing the tax reimbursements hit, or we start seeing our paychecks hit, and a lot of BLT Mickeys selling a PSA 9 for $975, another PSA 10 for around $2,850, so close to that $300 range. If you're getting them through eBay, just make sure they're authenticated, and then that should be good. It's looking like this hook right here sold for a $1,700 PSA 10 hook on January 10th. So that's all we have for the D23 PSA promo cards, and I'm kind of interested in going to D23 this year. I don't know if I'm down. I don't know how much tickets are. I've never been. I'm not sure really what to expect, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do something Lorcana related if this is what they did for the D23 before Lorcana was even released. So kind of excited. Let me know if you guys are going, and it might influence me to go to D23. But we can look at the best selling list on TCG Player before we leave off, to kind of get a taste of what is really popping in the format right now. People are buying Ruby cards. People are buying Amethyst cards. The Troves are really cheap. I think the Rise of the Floaterborn Troves are a really good price right now. I know a lot of people do not want to pay more than MSRP, but these are just hard to find, and we've seen the first chapter Trove prices being at $220. These might get at least double the price eventually. You know what I mean? Some Mufasas being sold throughout the weekend, because Mufasa is a very popular card right now. A lot of Amethyst Steel stuff being sold. Arthur, I think, is an undervalued Enchanted, which is really interesting to see. And again, Amethyst Steel cards being sold. Enchanted rares going back up in price. So if you guys have Enchanted rares that you've pulled or won from tournaments, maybe wait a little bit before you sell them. We don't know when there's more reprints coming. I haven't seen that many reprints coming, but until then, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. We will see you Goons next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Later.